Hello, my lovely people. I greet you all. Umu Chineke, anywhere you are watching this video, I greet you according to your time zone. If it is your first time of coming across this platform, Linda's TV show, you are welcome. If you like what we are doing, like, subscribe to this page, and leave your comment constructively. I want to appreciate you too for creating this wonderful platform that we are using to disseminate information to the members of the public. At the same time, I put a disclaimer that here in Linda's TV show, we do not promote war, violent hate speech, or instigate war, but rather we are here to educate, inform the members of the public about what is happening.
Kanu to come out from DSS dungeon with a high dignity. We go there.
Weighing in to find a way out of the logjam. As part of these, about 50 members of the House of Representatives spread across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country have appealed to President Bola Tinubu to use his constitutional powers to release the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, NNAMDI Kanu, from detention. Now in Kenya, East Africa, President William Ruto has bowed to public pressure and agreed to withdraw the controversial finance bill that sparked widespread protest and mass unrest across the country. This is Standpoint. I am Precious Amayu. The 4th of June, about 50 members of the House of Representatives spread across the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria under the aegis of the concerned federal lawmakers for peace and security in the southeast, appealed to President Bola Tinubu to invoke Section 174 of the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria as amended and Section 107, subsection 1 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 to release the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, NNAMDI Kanu, from the custody of the Department of State Services. In a letter addressed to President Tinubu dated 19th of June, the lawmakers elected on the platform of different political parties urged the number 1 citizen to commence a peace move to address rising insecurity in the southeast. Some of the signatories of the 3-page letter include Obi Agwocha from Abia State, Ikenga Wuchiri from Imo State, Afa Mogene from Anambra State, Mohammed Jajere from Yobe State, Aliyu Mustafa from Kaduna State, Medela Balami from Borno State, and Abiante Awaji Nombek from Rivers State. The lawmakers in the letter urged President Tinubu to mandate the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi-San, to invoke his powers under the provisions of Section 174, subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, and Section 107, subsection 1 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, and caused the release of NNAMDI Kanu from detention and discontinue his trial. The recall that the president extended this gesture through the office of the Attorney General to Omoyele Sowore, who was charged with treasonable felony. Now, this came after Kanu expressed his desire to have the treason charges filed against him by the federal government settled out of court. Now, joining me for in-depth discussion on this matter is a member of the House of Representatives representing Enugu East, Isi-Uzo constituency of Enugu State, Professor Paul Onamchi. Good to have you join us, Professor Onamchi.
Thank you. Nice having me. Nice to be here.
So before we get into this request by the 50 lawmakers, this particular case has been on for years, from the time where he was first arraigned, I think that was 2015, to when he was, rearraigned in 2021 after he had, they said he had jumped bail. There had been attempts at political solution. What happened in those situations?
No, however, I'm not trying to. Are you asking me or are you asking?
It's
are
a
you
question.
Are you with me? Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Well, okay. I think most times activities will have a remote and immediate. But for now, we're facing on what we're dwelling on is not now on the past because we want to have a solution, a final solution to it. But I want to also tell you that what we have, it is let us take politics completely away from this and look at it from the security angle, which I also think that the present administration has been trying to quell the insecurity in the country. In doing this, there is a kinetic and non-kinetic approach. What those of us in the National Assembly have been doing, and what the current administration will be doing through the CDS, which I know, have been using both kinetic and non-kinetic means. Just from a few days back, there was this number of terrorists have been killed over the past 1 year. That is true. That has been working. But at the same time, it hasn't given us the required, it's not an all-out complete approach. So what we're advocating is to also apply the non-kinetic approach, which the Chief of Defense Staff also has also been advocating for. That is not just one. And is a person quite close to me, what I know closely, and he has achieved a lot with this approach. We're advocating that in this his release with that form of non-kinetic approach. Let us just know what is happening, whether it is just some criminal element working or the other. So if you don't release him, it's difficult for you to ascertain who is exactly the people responsible. And I've also heard from people around NNAMDI that he doesn't support insecurity in the Southeast. But how will you be sure when he's not being released? You can only be sure if he's released. You now know what the motive of, if there is any other thing happening, insecurity happening, you will know and find out what is the motive. Do you understand me? That is, we are not dwelling on the past, whether jumping bail or how it happened, or what led to it. What we are looking at, the security aspect is the whole government approach.
If I may come in, Professor Namchi, just a minute. My question was not necessarily about him jumping bail. My question was, there have been several attempts at an out-of-court settlement by elders of the Southeast. They had even gone to see, I think it was President Buhari at that time, but it looked like nothing came out of that meeting. And I was asking why. Is it that the previous administration was not open to an out-of-court settlement, or there were agreements or conditions that were not met? That was the question.
No, I'm not aware of any condition that was met or that was not met. And I'm not aware, I was in the lecture room as a professor at University of Nigeria in Nsukka when Buhari was in the power. So I'm not in the know of what's the framework of the government then. But now I'm just looking at what it is that this particular government is looking at, and what, as a lawmaker joining in the whole government approach towards security or insecurity in the country, because it's everybody's business. It's both the press business to also offer security for our people. It is also the business of the religious bodies. It is also the business of the traditional rulers. So it is business of the legislature actually, and executive to have, and the judiciary of course, to have peace in the land. It is in that aspect where personally I'm coming. I'm not going on the political solution, no. It is not, this is not time for politics, it's a time for governance. But security is everyday activity. Security is every man's business. The best approach to it is follow either you do, in as much as you're doing the kinetic approach, you also follow the non-kinetic. Both of them go hand in hand. And going hand in hand means that I just want things about him to leave the table of politics and come to the table of tackling insecurity in the Southeast, and also just as well as tackling security in the whole country. This is a peaceful place. We need unity, we need peace, we need, and no development happens in a place that is insecure. People will be afraid to come. And I've also known from just as I said, that he himself, from the information I've gathered around him, and professionally, I also think that he's not in support of insecurity in the Southeast. And I also think that when he comes out,
how are you so sure? How are these lawmakers? I think about 50 of you. How are you so sure that the release of NNAMDI Kanu will guarantee security in the Southeast?
Most of the time, what people that when people are accosted somehow, what they also say is that they are doing this because he's in detention, they are doing this because it's this and that. And it's very easy to brainwash people when with this type of activities. That because this is fine, of course he has a group that he leads. That is not just a small group, but at the same time, if those groups are being agitated based on one reason or the other, the only thing we can do is to find out, is this this has happened over some years now, that we will now have the option. Please, why don't we get him out first and look at what other reasons? You will now know if there is any other reason where there is insecurity or not. Because that's the only reason people say that they are fighting for, or like the famous other things that are being done in the Southeast. They always trace it because it's being held. But himself is a peaceful person, and he has said it. And when he has indicated interest of out of court settlement, I think what else do we need? That means he's also willing for peace. He's also concerned about what is happening, concerned about insecurity and others. So I think the best approach would be to get him out, and let us see if that will still continue. And I believe that if he comes out and people see he's out, and not just barely doing politics with his name and going to do this and that around him, we should remove politics aside. When politics comes, we play politics. And the people will decide where they are voting and where they are not voting. Instead of that, let us face facts. There is insecurity in the land. There is insecurity in the Southeast. If you see any mode at which that will be tackled, why don't you exploit that opportunity? That is the area I'm coming from. And having looked at it, that security is everybody's business. Security is the whole government approach towards security is that security is everybody's business, including yourself and myself. And it is that quota we are just read. Please, the federal government, please, can you please help out to release him, and let us see if there's any other reason why there is insecurity. If you go towards some other area of the country, you can.
There are those who.
Yes.
There are those who wonder if NNAMDI Kanu still wields as much influence as to causing some level of disruption in the security in the Southeast, upon his release, because of the Simon Ekpa factor, which many say now that has now compounded the situation.
Well, you will only identify that when he's out, not when he's still inside. That's what I think. And by the way, you don't hear of Simon before now. So I think if he's released, then that question will be right or wrong. At this moment, it is neither right nor wrong till he's out. So I don't know this political group. I don't know how many they are. I don't know, but let him be released first. Then we should be able to know. The question will now be answered that it is that he controls this number or that he doesn't control this number. But the basic thing is that he's incarceration for a long time. It's also part of it cannot divorce it from the security in the Southeast.
And if for example, because there is, he's also asking for an out-of-court settlement, and then they're looking to say, oh, look, these conditions must be met. Would you, those of you who are the 50 members of this group, would you push him to take those conditions just for him to be released?
Well, I think every condition is towards getting peace in the land, towards getting peace in Nigeria, towards getting peace in Southeast. I think he will not be averse to the condition that will bring peace back, will bring development back, and also bring in unity of the country, because it's also part of the unity. It's also towards galvanizing unity among our people, among the Nigerian, because there's no peace where there's insecurity. I think I haven't seen any agreement drawn by the federal government about his release, but most of the time, that's if he's out, it is enough agreement that he's out. His followers that have been agitated, that some of them have been, they are also in several prisons. they're out. And so also those that felt that some of the things that were done in his home and some of the people that have been killed in one way or the other due to that agitation, he's the de facto person that could also is a key player towards his release is a vital point towards stemming those insecurity, and also he's also working with may also help the government to stem those tides. Because I just think that you must explore all the options for peace and options to have peace. The CDS has been doing Operation Udok and all this. This is also part of it. Part of it is releasing him, giving him a voice. Why does I have also looked around him and from information I gathered around people around him. They said he is against insecurity in the Southeast. But how will he be? How can he stop it being inside the incarceration? People are saying, hey, release. There was sometimes you will say news. Whenever he goes to court, you hear a lot of people coming, you hear comment, people are glued to the television to see what the outcome of it. I also know there was one time we're doing our campaign. There was this news that there's one court case, and there was this uproar of joy in certain areas. These are the type of things. These are key indicators. Because when you are negotiating, when you are doing things with non-state actors, they don't have uniform. You don't know their organization, you don't know the cells. But when such person comes, as he commands a lot of respect among them, please stop, give peace a chance. I think it will go a long way towards having peace in the Southeast.
The first part of this conversation is that his release will lead to some level of peace in the Southeast. But there's also another part of the conversation, which was what led to all of this in the first place, which was the agitation for secession. If he's released, do you think that also will lead to a drop in the agitations for secession?
I don't think when someone says he will now opt for out-of-court negotiations or out-of-court settlement, I think those ones now be tackled. He's not saying that he's out, that he's now coming for out-of-court negotiation for cessation. It is a certain out-of-court for peace. There are two things. I think that one is a secondary aspect of it, because it is a bit of a continuum. The first one is coming out. The second one is how do you achieve a long-term peace, and also peace that is stable. That's what it is. But you have to do first and foremost in any process or any developmental initiative. It's also you do the first thing. That's the first part of the issue. Then the other one comes first. He has not. I think some of those he's coming out, and certain aspects of developmental initiative will do a lot of ways to mitigate against things about agitation, because people agitate for a reason. However, democracy is not different from the life of other people. When people feel that they're not getting the dividends of what they are, and they are not having things that will encourage them to live in peace, I think I will tell you, just like one person, somebody that feels that his, excuse me, somebody that feels that his tomorrow is better than today will not go and carry any weapon, because he wants to live to see the tomorrow that he's aiming to have. I think it's just about, the whole thing boils down to maybe having good governance, having dividends of democracy, seeing that the government works for us, all of us, and not seeing if there's any aspect that maybe people feel that government is working for the privileged or government is working for the few of a particular sect, then that's where those things come from. But those ones are not an issue now. What is the issue is release him and let us continue the act of governance, and there will be development that is encompassing, that is in every part of the country. I think those things will die down. Nigeria is not the only place that's agitation. There's agitation, but the government do a lot of developmental efforts to. I can tell you when Yaradua started the idea of in Niger Delta, there was a lot of agitation, but today you don't see it again. I also believe that if we go that route, it will say. I also commend the CDS for the work he's doing in the Northeast and also currently in the Northwest. Those things will, because those areas they have used both kinetic and both non-kinetic, and it's working well, and there is a bit of stability in those regions. This is what exactly we are preaching. This is exactly what we are appealing for. That let him be released, and as a means of as a type of non-kinetic approach. So that
his release, whilst we are advocating for his release, but that cannot be a one-size-fits-all solution. What has been done whilst you are advocating for his release, what has been done in the Southeast to create or to foster dialogue and then create an environment that is conducive for reconciliation and growth?
Come again in the question about what is happening in the Southeast.
I was asking that whilst you are still advocating for his release, what is being done at the moment to foster dialogue and then create an environment that is conducive for reconciliation and growth?
No, you don't. Those things. This is part of the sensitization, and this is that is it. But he's a very important key player in that aspect of dialogue. This is a part of the sensitization. This is part of informing the government that it is. This is what I will call an encompassing process, where both the legislatures and some of the most the community leaders advocate that if every other thing are being done, this is also be done, and it becomes part of the dialogue. It becomes part of the because remember the famous equation where you say that you don't shave people's hair in their absence, and that's what I was saying. If we go there, if he is there, he has people that he will listen to him among those people. He is a man of respect, so I think that when some of them sees that he's released, there is a lot of joy and there's a lot of acceptance, even towards that dialogue you're talking about, and even towards stability. Because we also need the governors, the government, and people of the Southeast. They are people of peace, actually. Anybody that likes development, like peace. And that's what, you will agree with me, if you look around the country, you will see that a lot of members of just every other person love development. But also the people of Southeast are people that are striving for one height or the other with intent to achieve development wherever they are. So I think that everybody will be happy if this is done. It's not just the Southeast, because other members of Nigeria are in Southeast. But when we talk of Southeast, you think it's just maybe Igbos alone. No. You have Hausa in Igbo land. We have in Southeast. We have Yoruba in Southeast. We have other Ibibios. We have thieves. We have every part of the country, just like Igbos are in the other part of the country. Those people are also there. All of them need peace. And we have to live in peace in the country. We need peace to achieve meaningful development and also to achieve what we set out to in the governance of the country.
Are you following up on that letter, Professor? Are you following up on that letter to the president, and what sort of feedback do you have?
We haven't had the reply from him, but I hope that the government is listening. The government has a listening ear, and also try. I believe that the government will achieve a lot of things. Doing the needful, or also giving a positive ear, positive direction to, or positive response to the idea of releasing him, because we've not said, there's nothing attached to the letter apart from the fact that it is a way of bringing peace back to the Southeast. And I also know it has done, a lot of things have been done also in other parts where you have like in the Northeast before, where you have people that repentant, Boko Haram and all those stuff, and also bandits. People surrender. This one, he has also indicated interest that he would like political solution. Let us not, why don't we exploit it now? There's nothing there's nothing that is, that is a word like compromise, I must say. Well, you must not continue to agitate, and the government must have a face, the people's face. They will also have the human face attached to them. So when this is done, they're not just doing it for him, but they're doing it for the generality of the people living in the Southeast who have been devastated by a lot of insecurity. So these are aspects. So it is actually a way of achieving development, a way of achieving unity, a way of achieving peace in the country, a way of also making people feel belonged, a way also making ensuring that we are one, and that the country,
Professor,
that the government has.
Are you speaking to NNAMDI Kanu about this move you are making, and what is his response?
Yes, there's also the people engaged in those aspects. I might not mention them, but I've also said, well, he has said it open. It's not just about the backroom or maybe the people speaking to him. He has said it publicly that is open to out-of-court settlements. I don't think there's any other thing one needs to hear from him apart from that is as encouraging as that one. Before, it is about going to court and one court to the other. And now he says, okay, let's give peace a chance. Let's have out-of-court settlement. It is now also, it will be a very wonderful thing for us to exploit at this particular moment. Because you don't leave any opportunity for peace. Because when you leave any loophole for peace, then are you looking for insecurity? Are you looking for this enchantment? Most of these things are also tied to the fact that the people are disappointed that they don't get what they deserve as a people, or that they get what they need. They should ought to have gotten as a political in the governance of a place. But I also think that today we can always look towards the future, not towards the past. And looking into the future is releasing him. What is it about now? And we can engage dialogue, because we can't keep him in and say, oh, well, he has said whatever he did seem to say, which means he's open to peace, he's open to dialogue, he's open to out-of-court settlement. So he has actually thrown in that the green leaf for peace to return, and for him to also be released.
So we'll see how the federal government responds to this. You have sent your letter. We'll see how they respond. Thank you so much for your time. The member representing Enugu East, Isi-Uzo constituency of Enugu State, Professor Paul Onamchi.
Yes, thank you, Biafrans. This is the latest news for now. You know, our eyes is on the rising sun, and we are bringing it. All the things we are flashing there are the players that is playing the game. You know, this is 11-11 football match. Mazen NNAMDI Kanu is leading in front, and we are flashing the players. All the things you see there are the player that is playing the game. And our Prime Minister is there doing the needful. Thank you. As we join fundraising just now, in the next 23 minutes, fundraising will start. Yeah, Ego Giolo, happy Ume, thank you. Obi is a Mike, thank you. Triple M, thank you. Triple M is here, happy Ume, and the Law Lego Ibo, Indubisi, Law Lego Ibo, all the people that is here, you know, we bring all your messages here. Stella, Isaac, thank you, everybody that is here. This is the latest news. We will push them they will broadcast. That is what is happening now. And the Nigerian media, their telecommunication, their network is now bringing the news to the whole world. African court has already endorsed Biafran self-referendum, and the Biafra is automatically ours. So thank you for everything.
Thank you so much, my wonderful viewers, for watching this video together with me from the beginning to the end. Like I said before, if you like what you see here, if you like what I do in this platform, as you have finished watching this video, please hit that red button that says subscribe and put on your notification bell to all notification. In that way, you'll be able to know when I upload a new video. Share my videos, leave your comments in the comment section constructively. Until I meet your way again in my next video, I still remain your Linda's TV show. Bye-bye.